Hey, everybody. So I would like to explain the case study, vaccinations and identifying values work that you're going to be doing next. So case studies are a common way that we look at bioethical questions in this class. It's easiest to decide or make decisions about what we should do when we're thinking about situations in the real world. Now, this actual case study is not a real world. This is made up. However, in light of what's going on right now with COVID-19 and all of the things that are happening in our society, this is a particularly close to home case study to be thinking about. This is not based upon what's happening right now. This is something I've used for years. And this is sort of a classic example of a bioethical problem that people use to try to get others to start talking about bioethics. So let's talk about what you're going to be doing. You're going to first start by reading this case study, and you're going to be reading about this deadly outbreak of a flu that is killing people. Much like the flu that's going around right now. It's not technically the flu, it's COVID-19, but it's a related virus. Except in this case, it's a much more extreme version. In the case study I'm giving you, anybody who gets this particular imaginary disease is likely to die. But there's a vaccine, and now a vaccine, if you get the vaccine, you can't get the disease. So it essentially will save your life. And in the scenario, almost everybody's expected to get the disease. You live in a community that has a limited number of vaccine, and your job is to decide who gets the vaccine first. Essentially, anybody who's not given the vaccine, we can assume that they are not going to survive the first round of this pandemic. Now, a lot of times people are like, well, why don't we just get more resources to them and things like that? And if you've been following the news, you'll see why that's difficult. Like in a situation where everybody's struggling with something like a disease, it's really hard to move the material around and get everything that we need all the time. So the intent here is that resources are limited. So you're going to pick 6 of the 10 people listed here. In some cases, we have twins and things like that, so they count as 2. The one woman who thinks she might be 6 weeks pregnant, she only counts as saving 1 because the fetus is inside of her and would get the immune resistance. So you're going to read through the different people, and you're going to think about who in this scenario you want to save. And once you've decided who those people are, you're going to list them here. Okay, the 6 people that you want to save, and then your reason for saving them. Now, you have to have a reason that you think that they are more important to save than others, and you need to write 2 to 3 sentences for each one. Okay, a little description. Now, if this was in class, I would be asking you to just tell me about why you're saving those people. But for this activity, because we're not in class, you're going to need to write it down. And then you're going to need to identify the value that you're showing in your decision. Now, they can be one of your values. So you might say, well, I value family, so I'm going to save these people because they're family to each other, and that's the only reason I'm saving them. Or you might pick one of the common bioethical values. Like you might say, I'm valuing the services they can provide, so that's why I'm saving this person, or I value long life or equality or whatever it is. But here you'll just list the 1 or 2 word description of the value that you're displaying when you say who you want to save. Then you're going to move on to a couple of discussion posts, and you'll notice different due dates here. This activity, along with the first discussion post, are going to be submitted by Wednesday the 2nd. Okay. The discussion post is simply create a submission. It's in the next activity. So you've already opened this and filled this out. So you should be able to open the next activity. In fact, you can submit this activity and you can still go back and look at it to see what to do in task 2 and 3. But in task 2, you're going to type your list and make a short audio recording of your reasoning. And if you don't know how to do that, there's going to be a link right here that you can click and see how to make an audio recording in discussion post. And then you're going to wait a couple of days. So everybody's going to be posting by Wednesday at 9 a.m. That gives you Thursday and Friday to well, Thursday and then Friday up. Yeah, Thursday and Friday to make a discussion response. So you'll go in and look at what the 4 people in your group all said. You don't have to read everybody's, just those 4 people. And you will be identify, or you will find 2 choices where you disagreed with them. It's like 2 different people where they picked somebody you didn't pick. And you're going to make either an audio or a typed reply to their post explaining why you disagree with them. And it needs to be a reasoned argument. It needs to be an explanation of why you think the value or the reasoning you're using is better than the reasoning they're using. It should not be an attack on them. It should be an attack on their idea. Not an attack even, but should be a conversation about their idea. Okay. And that's due on April 4th. Now, one thing I didn't mention, and I should have back up here in task 2, where it says open the group lists. To find your group, there's in the folder on unit 1, there's a link called group lists. You'll open that and you'll find your name in there. That's the group you're going to post to. So if you're group A, your name will be next to group A, post to there. If you're group B, group C, and so on. And then you only need to post to that discussion. So that you'll see A, B, C, D, E, right? 5 discussions. Only post to the one that is your groups. The rest you can ignore. Let me know if you have questions about this. Again, if you don't know how to make audio recordings in a discussion, you can find that link here. And yeah, good luck.